welcome to a brand new episode here on Sunnyside Up Farms. There you go, you see. Don't even know the name of my own farm. I'll go admit, actually, I'm not on top form today. So I'm recording this on Bank Holiday Monday, and for those of you in England, you know what I'm talking about. An interesting fact, actually, about Bank Holiday Monday. So we have Bank Holiday Mondays throughout the year. A, because now they represent important days in our history, but originally, back in medieval England, the first Bank Holiday Mondays used to came about because the banks needed a day off, or a day every, I can't remember, I think it was every 2 to 3 months, to shut or close and count their money. So the first forms of banks back in the, which is not like banks we know today, but so it might have come a little bit after the medieval period, but yeah, that's the reason why they're called bank holidays, is because the bank needed a day when it had to close so that it could count the money and do the necessaries with whatever they did. And so other industries, because they couldn't go to the bank on that day and take, because obviously there was no wire transfer, so they had to close as well, because they had no way of getting the money to the banks. And back in sort of medieval England, and just a bit later, it wasn't safe for them to hold the money overnight. So that was where the original bank holidays came from. Now, as I say, now they represent saints and other historical events that have happened, but we still know them today as Bank Holiday Mondays, even though they're not for the reason that they were once originally the reason for. As I say, originally they were so that banks could have a day off, a day where they could count all the money. So the banks would still go into work, or not sort of like, I'm not talking Barclays and NatWest. I'm talking about, probably a group of monks or whatever that, or whatever. I'd have to look into it a lot further, but I came across the fact watching another farming channel, actually, and he was giving a real life farm. I mean, PX Farms. Go check them out. Fantastic. YouTube channel, and very informative. The people on it are very nice as well. Very big farm. Wish I could have worked for them when I was able to work, because that would have been absolutely bloody awesome. But anyway, so yeah, back to I'm not on it. So I'm recording this on Bank Holiday Monday. Yesterday, so on the Sunday, sort of was sat after lunch looking through my computer, sort of chilling, just sort of having an afternoon off from recording and just sort of chilling out, really, because as I say, I've been sort of recording at least sort of 2, and sometimes 3 videos a day for probably a good 3-4 weeks, and I don't know, just sort of got to yesterday afternoon and thought, you know what, I wouldn't mind an afternoon off. I wouldn't mind an afternoon where James just does rubbish, just chills out and just sort of doesn't have the stresses of his computer, because he's halfway through recording an episode and then suddenly the recording quits because he's run out of memory. I thought James deserves one afternoon where he can sort of do whatever. Anyway, so I was looking through my computer, and as you all know, I like my racing, and I had a look, and there was some racing on at Yarmouth starting at 5 o'clock on Sunday evening. And so I sort of thought, ooh, that looks interesting. There's a few cars there, like, it did, because Yarmouth's about, as I say, it's just over 2 hours from where I live. And so I thought, yeah, I might go. So I thought, if I set off at, and the thing is, so Yarmouth's 2 hours from where I live. Now my ex, her house is an hour and a half in Norwich, because it's on the way to Yarmouth. Is an hour and a half away from where I live, right? It's, roughly like sort of, obviously half hour, sort of shorter. But whenever I think Yarmouth, I always think my ex, and I think, oh, I'll leave at 3, I'll be there by 4:30. It got to sort of like 10 to 4, and I'm sort of hitting Dereham, thinking, I might not make this. I think I'm going to have to sort of tell cruise control to go a little bit higher than 58 miles an hour down the dual carriageways. Left-hand lane, 58 miles an hour. Honestly, my Volvo, it saves so much diesel, it's unreal. It's so economical at 58 miles an hour, inside lane, so that everyone can go past, so that I don't hold no one up. And traffic was light, there wasn't that much traffic on the road, and so I did, because I sped up then to 70, and as I say, my Volvo, I've got an XC60, which is an R design, which is the sport one, so it's like literally flick a few switches on the dash, and fuel consumption was rubbish, but I did get there on time, so swings and roundabouts, and so I got there, and anyway, watched the racing. And unbeknown to sort of me at the time, my brother ended up being there as well, which I didn't know whether he would be or not, because his formula was on, so he really likes the national hot rods, and they were on until last night. They weren't for me. I find them a bit boring, but my God, were they absolutely bloody brilliant last night, and honestly they were well worth the entrance money on their own. I could have quite happily have watched a night of national hot rod racing. Like, honestly, it was awesome. And the formula that I actually went there to see, and the driver in particular that I sort of try and follow when he's sort of not racing too far away. So when he's racing sort of in my area, which is like sort of Northampton, Skegness, Kings Lynn, and obviously Yarmouth. Haven't been to Ipswich yet, but I might try and get this year. If I don't get this year, I'll definitely be going next year, because it's one of the local tracks that I haven't been to yet. And if I can pick up a little bit of confidence in driving, I'd like to go much further afield. So I'd like to end up going to sort of Scotland and Taunton and places like that. But so anyway, he was there last night, so he came over and said hello, which was really nice actually. To be fair, it sort of added a really nice sort of touch to what was a really nice evening out. But I got back at about 11:15, because there was an accident on the way home and I got diverted. But it was okay, I got diverted, but I still knew which way to go. So I was fine this time, because last time I got diverted and I was like, okay, literally my one route home has now been sort of shut off. I can't use it, and that's what happens if the A47 is shut. But this time it looked sort of unluckily, but luckily for me, it worked out well for me. The Acle Strait was the one that was shut, and I was able to go from Yarmouth all the way around to Hemsby, and then sort of all the way home that way, which was fine. It didn't really add anything to my journey either. So that that was pretty cool. But yeah, so I get home say 11:15, and gets home at 11:15, gets a cup of tea, sort of gets ready for bed. Just thought I'll put telly on for 10 minutes, and lo and behold, one of my favourite films was on. It hadn't quite started. It didn't start until 11:30, but I ended up watching that. But the one thing I'd forgot to sort of remember was that it was 2.5 hours long. So I went to bed quite late last night, and then I got up sort of late-ish. My alarm went off at 6, as it always does, and well, I say always does. Sometimes I set it for 5 if I've got a lot that I need to record in a day. Then I'll set it for 5 so that I can get like 3 videos in a day recorded, edited, and uploaded. But yeah, so today I'm not with it. But anyway, back to some farming sim now. As you can see, we're out on the David Brown, and we are finishing. Well, this is the case actually, but it's case David Brown. And we're finishing off the ploughing that we started in the last episode and did in the last episode. I decided to get nearly all of it done off sort of camera, just because across the channel, across all the saves, we have had quite a bit of ploughing just recently. So I decided that rather than sort of sit for another, 40-50 minutes, ploughing, I would have it done, and then today we'll get on with some drilling. Today we'll get on with some drilling. We'll just plough this little bit, which I missed, and then as I say, we'll get that done. So the money's gone up considerably because I sold the rape and the oats, or canola, because 1 or 2 people are sensitive to me saying rape when that's all I've ever known it as. But I get 1 or 2 people that have found my email address and email me and say that it's disgusting that I use that word on my channel that children watch. I just like, it's a crop. What do you want me to do? It's just like, anyway, we'll call it canola. And the thing is, I always forget. I always forget. But what are you going to do? So yeah, we're producing eggs, thankfully, because I also took the liberty as well to load these feed troughs, and so the chickens are fed. So that's good. Which you can see them in here, they're nice and happy. And so they've got plenty of feed. They should have enough feed for this year. If we get a bit nearer to harvest and we've still got quite a bit of feed left, I will then open up this chicken coop. Like I say, my brain is really not working today. We'll open up that chicken coop, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some rapeseed, canola, whatever, and I'm going to put it in this field. So this one just here, where the wheat was this year, and then the other 2 are going to be wheat. So the canola is, I remember to say canola. The canola is for a little bit of cash flow, just because we, won't have much eggs, or many eggs, which is better English, many eggs to sell this time around. So we'll have 2 fields of wheat, and then that means I will be able to start opening up these other chicken coops then. And as I've said before, there is a couple of fields that I would quite like to buy. 2 smallish fields. I think this is one of them. What's that? That's 14 acres. So, hang on, no, it's not. It's 12 acres. And then there's one this side that I would quite like to buy as well, which is at the back here. But this is attached, I think, to the farm. But I would like to buy this as well. Yeah, Sutton's farm. So I would like to buy this field as well. What is it? Ice grass. I would like to buy this field, as I say, just because, again, I've only got small equipment, so I don't want to be buying big fields. And I also, as well, wouldn't mind the field, the other side of the field I was just ploughing, which I've showed you before as well. So I wouldn't mind this field as well, because that would be another field of wheat. I mean, it's wheat at the moment, which is really frustrating that I don't think I can afford it, because if I could afford it, then obviously I would buy it now, because you know, it would help with the wheat that we would need to this field here. But I don't think I can afford that. Nah, not by a long shot. 305,000. So I don't really want to take out a loan because you know that it's not really worth that. But again, it'd actually be interesting to walk into that field and see what the potential harvest quality is. But the other thing I was going to show you, which I forgot, I added this shed. So this shed isn't actually here when you start, but I added this shed just so as we had a little bit more storage, because otherwise it was going to be this shed that was going to be the storage, and it would be very quickly to, you know, very quick to fill this shed. And I want this shed for all the vehicles, so all the tools are going to go down there apart from the combine header. The combine header's going to stay in here, but all the tools are going to go in the shed that I just showed you, and all the vehicles come in here. I mean, we're not going to have a massive amount of equipment, and when we start to get gradually bigger, then we are going to need to buy a farm. And as I say, there's that farm just there, and there's also, or just there I think it is actually, yeah, so where those trees are, and then down there where those trees are, if I can get my mouse up, so just there's another farm in there, but at the moment both of them are quite expensive. So we ain't doing that. But we've, as I say, we'll sort of try and build our chicken empire, which will then start to obviously bring in quite a bit of money, because we'll just sell the eggs direct, because we've got, you know, there's nothing else we can do with them, so we'll just sell them direct. But obviously, you know, as they start increasing, because I don't think there's many chickens in here at the moment. I mean, that would be the other thing as well, is that we can increase the chickens in here. So there's 130 in here at the moment, and we can have 2,500. So I mean, you know, we can get that built up as well. But what I would like to do is to sort of 130 in there, put 130 in here, and just let them build, you know, sort of naturally by by reproducing, rather than me just keep buying the chickens. But we need the grain, and that's why we're having 2 fields of wheat and 1 field of canola. So what I'm going to do is I've got 2 power harrows. So the money that you can see top right, that's the money that I've got now. But when I sold the canola and the oats, I had 175,000. So I've now bought the last remaining bits of kit that I needed. I have remembered that I haven't bought, I've got 1 thing left to buy, which is a set of rolls, and at some point I'll buy a mulcher as well, but I'm not too bothered about that this year because I've already ploughed them, so I haven't got to worry about that this year. But yeah, so that's what we'll do. And so I'm going to switch over to some time lapse, just because I think my voice is going to give out, and I've woke up again this morning feeling a little bit coldy and fluey, and I've got to go to hospital. That's another thing that I wanted to say as well, and I'll say it now because I've remembered, or I've just literally brought it up and it's kind of gone, oh yeah, I need to say that as well. So because I do record quite a bit in advance, I have to go into hospital tomorrow, which is Tuesday the 27th of August, and I'm hoping, because at the moment it's scheduled for an outpatient appointment, so it's literally go in. I'm having, as far as I know, I'm having 2 things done, or 3 things done. One's a blood test, so that's neither here nor there because you literally just take blood and that's that. And then another one is ECG and echo, but they count that as the same thing because you go into one, you have the ECG done, and then you go into echo and have that done. So they, as I say, they count that as the same thing. So I'm having that done, which is 2, and then I'm also having a liver scan done as well. One of the heart tablets that I'm on kills your liver, apparently. You're only supposed to be on it for a year. I'm coming up to about 8 years now. I've been on it because every time I come off it, my heart fails. So it's a case of they've gone like, well, it's probably best if we keep you on it. and so I have to be on it, but it does mean that I have to have regular blood tests for my liver, and then usually about every 18 months I have a liver scan just to make sure that my liver's fine. Touch wood, so far everything's cool with my liver, so no issues. I think everything's cool kind of all round. I'm going to put these on follow me because I want these obviously to get a head start, and we're going to need to buy some seed as well. You need to detach from that, my friend. I don't want to be taking the trailer with me. I love these little tractors. I really do, honestly. I can't remember how to get follow me to work. Is it Control F? Yes, it is. Yes, like I said, I'm having a real brain lapse today. It's kind of like, the simplest of tasks have become quite challenging. But as I say, the film didn't end till like nearly 2:30, and I got up at 8:30. So bit of a lay-in for me, but I'm so tired it's unreal. Anyway, what I'm going to do is, because it's gone on too long now, I'm going to switch over to some time lapse, and we'll get the powers, we'll get them set up, and we'll get them going. So I'm going to bring them into the canola field first, and we'll get that one drilled, and then we'll do either side. We'll do the wheat fields, but I'll see you in a little bit. Bye for now. And I'm back. So, another busy episode had, and after quite a few teething problems, we got there in the end. And I can't believe when I was putting the plough in the shed, I moved the plough over a little bit, and literally as I'm dropping the plough down to take it off, I'm saying to myself, don't forget, don't just drive forward because you'll hit the post, you'll need to go left a little bit. And literally the plough drops off, and what do? Just drive straight forward, straight into the blooming post. So, yep, your first class Wally and dunce is me. So, yeah, but anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. It's been, as I say, another great. I just love seeing the David Browns going up and down. To be fair, like, I'm loving this episode. I'm loving, not this episode, I'm loving this series. This and Carmelan's and 1950s are definitely my favourite ones to record. You know, they really are, because they're just so nostalgic and so fun. And Carmelan's, I'm enjoying that because it's so different. Like, as I've said before, you know, a lot of times before, I just wouldn't normally do something like that. And because I'm doing with all the productions, and because I'm doing this, that, and everything else, you know, on there, sort of everything I wouldn't normally do, I'm really enjoying it because I'm sort of discovering it all a little bit too late in 22, really. But hopefully all that good stuff will be available in 25. I was going to say 23 then, in 25, and you know, we'll be able to sort of do a series or something like that on that episode as well, on that series of game. Like I said, brain's not working, and just to prove brain's not working, so a little bit earlier on in the intro, or the bit I recorded first where I was talking, I started to talk about hospital and then just kind of went off. So, as I said, because I record I'm usually about a week in front. So next week, if there isn't a couple of videos for a day or two, it's because unfortunately I've been kept into hospital. Now, I'm not foreseeing this because I feel alright. Everybody keeps telling me I look alright, so, you know, fingers crossed. You know, everything is okay, but you know, there is always that, you know, slight possibility that, you know, something might be happening underneath that I can't necessarily feel. But so it's just a case of, as I say, if there isn't a video, so that'll be like sort of Tuesday, Wednesday. You know, if there's a video next Tuesday and next Wednesday, you know that everything's cool. But yeah, if there's not, then obviously I got kept in. But don't worry, you know me, I'll tell you all about it. I'm sure none of you care. But it's just nice to have someone to talk to. I sound like an old person, don't I? It's the only reason I come here, you know, is so I can get a chat. But yeah, so, and I did the drilling a little bit different today. No doubt you would have noticed. But decided to leave the headlands, because normally I drill the headlands first. Actually, I don't need the marker now. I usually drill the headlands first, but I realised that them power arrows I don't think are exactly 3 meters wide, because I'd sort of counted enough breeds for them to be wide enough out in the field, but no, they were nowhere near wide enough out in the field. So, as I say, that I don't think those power arrows are 3 meters wide, but yeah, so I decided to drill one headland and start on one headland and then just drill into the field. Oh, wait, I've lost my mark. Where's it gone? There it is. Yeah, so I thought I would do that just for a little bit different, just to kind of prove to everyone that I can drill middle of the field first, and that's how we would have done it on the farm. So the people that would have been pulling the land down ahead of me, they would, you know, pull it down from one headland out, and then you just sort of leave 3 headlands then, and that's how we would do it. And that's basically just so as it definitely matches up, because sometimes when you try and leave 4 headlands, if I don't start the drilling in the right place, they won't match up. There will be a, it's not usually a big gap, but there will be a gap, and you don't want gaps. So that's why sort of we do it that way. But yeah, anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed the episode, and I thank you ever so much for watching. And if you haven't done already, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really does help. And thank you to the 504 people as I record this that have subscribed. As I say, I really do appreciate it. Feel free to leave comments. I don't always answer them straight away, but I do always answer and reply. As I say, usually in the daytime I'm sort of recording all day, and then usually in the evening, I'm sort of doing a few bits and pieces around the house that I haven't got done in the day. But at some point I will reply to you. It just isn't necessarily straight off when you message. Sometimes it is, if you catch me right and I'm on YouTube and I'm sort of replying to other messages, and then suddenly you send me a message, then you're going to get replied to instantly. But it's not always the case. But yeah, and also as well, don't forget to share the videos wherever you want to share them as well. That really does help as well, and it brings the channel to more people, and that can only be a good thing. So with all that said, there's only one thing left for me to say. Thanks ever so much for joining me on this episode. I've really enjoyed having your company, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now. And cut.